in Maine.
Hi, Joe in New York. What a
Yeah,
beautiful day we had in Maine today.
we had a beautiful second day of this extraordinary weather in New York City as well. It's just, makes me long for October.
Yes, that's exactly what it's like. I will tell our viewing audience out here, the trees are early this year. We're not even out of July, and I've got full trees. Those little, they call them they're the ones that signal the change down in the swamps. They're red. There's orange. Yeah, it's going to be early fall because it was such a wet season here. So, but the Maine blueberries are very large and very sweet this year.
Yeah, I saw your photos of the picking of.
Yeah, they're very, very, they're always sweet, but they're not usually the larger ones. So now that we've, caught up with the weather.
We've done that. Let's talk about August. And astrological and intuitive insights that we've got for folks coming up. So I'll go first.
Okay.
So 3 E words. I might add a fourth. So 3 words that came when I was tuning into what to look for, what to highlight, what to embrace in August of 2023. So we have exceptionalism, yours, mine, the collective exceptionalism. Elevation, this has much to do about our level of consciousness and our awareness and our integrity and our authenticity. And then we have emancipation. And I had to really sit with that word because usually I get liberation or freedom, but emancipation, right? So setting yourself free. And it's a very organic process. It's not like working at it necessarily. It's something that happens out of perhaps circumstance or just because it's in your soul blueprint that at this time, with this growing awareness and elevation of consciousness on the planet, that there is this freedom from old thoughts and beliefs that have held us as individuals down, but also the collective down. So embracing your brilliance, moving on, and not looking back, not looking back. This, I want to say this again, not looking back. We have this temptation with our mind, our thinking to project into the future. So we have a third of our time spent in the future, which doesn't exist, a third of our time spent in the past, which leaves another part of us here that's not all that fully present because we're there. So not looking back. So we can free ourselves from the bondage of the past, those hungry ghosts of the past. So, and I have a very chatty cat right now. I don't know if you can hear him.
Yeah. So. just confirming everything you're saying. That's all.
Yes. Okay, so what do we have? How does that fit into what's happening now and what's coming in August astrologically?
Well, astrologically in August is it's the tale of 2 parts of the month. The beginning is setting up for the end. This Leo energy that we're in is just what you're talking about. So much about ourselves and looking at it. But we start the month off with a powerful supermoon, which is when the moon is closer to the earth in Aquarius, the opposite of Leo. The vision of
that's coming up this week.
Tomorrow, the very first day of August is a full moon. So let's just kick her off right away. And of course, full moons are really about letting go, giving gratitude and forgiveness. And the Aquarius is the vision, that revolutionary vision of who we are. And because we've had this shift in the Libra Aries axis, Aries is where our north node is, sparking our soul to do something different. And we start always with the south node moving away from it. And Libra is exactly what you're talking about, that emancipation of what have I been following in harmony? What scripts, what memos have I thought that are me because I've been taught for them to be, and that I can walk away from. The harmony I want is in the spark of my soul, in that Aries,
Yeah.
unstoppable energy of who we are becoming. And because there is this square with Pluto in Capricorn, it is completely about a resistance for our structures. We're looking at each individual one and deciding, yep, yep. And, you and I had this conversation in the group we have is, that so a declination is following the true north. I found that out afterwards. That's actually a map making term for following the true north. This is the true north of who we are. It's the conscious reaction. And has this Aquarius is this Uranus innovation, and Saturn in Pisces focused flow. And we were just talking about, look at the two top movies in the country. The one, Oppenheimer, should we be doing these things? And Barbie, which is actually a humanitarian look at the reality of what is real, what do we call real, and how do we work with that? And it is a full moon. We start the month with a full moon and we end the month with a full moon. On the 30th is a second full moon. So there's a blue moon this month.
Okay, that I didn't realize.
Yes, and so the beginning is about these sensory blocks, getting things done, truth in who we are. But it's Lee Harris calls it's the anger of our boundaries. Wait a minute, this isn't me. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to step into who I am. And we have Venus retrograde, and we have later on in the month Mercury goes retrograde. That's the tail of the 2 months. And we also have Uranus going retrograde, that ruler. So really is about a higher understanding of who we can be. Focus at the light, focus the light,
Yes.
You participate in what if you walk around saying, oh God, isn't the world weird? The world's going to be weird for you. This really is trying to be as non-judgmental. What did I hear someone say? They quoted Pam Gregory. Basically, how can I be non-judgmental distantly and just stepping back and figuring out where I am? Should I speak? Is this a good thing to say? Or is it time for me to speak and have a boundary? How do I be more me? I don't need to step into any of these other roles that I've been given. So it is completely aligning with especially the beginning of this month, because on the 13th, we have the sun conjunct that Venus retrograde. And we're looking for new lighthouses. We're looking for new lights to follow, new things to illuminate how we value ourselves, how we value mankind. And with Venus retrograde, along with Neptune retrograde and Pluto retrograde and Saturn retrograde, we are restructuring our focus and reevaluating all of the things we have thought about ourselves. Only we're at this new divine level we've stepped into.
Yeah. And I want to add this other E word, which is ease. I think we often, or I have, got caught in this, I'll call it an old paradigm and way of thinking that, all right, this is going to be hard, but, I'll get through it. But I think if we allow the ease and grace, you've often used the word grace, my cat is knocking my laptop, that we might find portals, openings of ease in our journey that we weren't open to before. I really do think this is possible. And I think this is part of the shift in consciousness, part of the elevation and emancipation and exceptionalism. Because when we think about ease and grace, we move into a level of exceptionalism and elevated consciousness instead of thinking that, I have a couple of interns working for me this week at the office, and I said, let's make a commitment this week to making things easy. And I had this one of the interns creating something for me on this app. She said, "Oh, I just realized that there's all these things it's going to be much easier. I thought I would have to do it all from scratch." I said, "No, our focus is ease. We want it to be easy this week. We want to have fun. We want it to be light." And I think that's, for me, a really good way to approach being at the office, being in life, right? So
I think that that's really very profound in looking at this. This is this 8-8 Lionsgate portal is hugely galactic, hugely aligned with a great attraction, a great exponential, another E word, attraction. And for me, one of the ways I work with ease is I try to pay attention to the word but. If I say something and I add but, when I change it to and, it allows me some ease in going into it. It's not one or the other, it's and. So now how do I work with them together? And that is easier. It is ease. It is able to find new lighthouses for me to, that they're inside. Those are my lighthouses. And
yeah.
I'm and looking for the light, the joy, the playing. I know that we will hear and but life is hard. How about and sometimes it's harder than others? Is that really a belief I want anymore? Life is hard. Really? Who said?
Yeah, who said that? Where did that concept come from, and why are you believing it? Right?
If humans have to suffer, why? Even in religions, Buddha, Christ all said, look, we did it. You don't have to. Here it is.
Learn from me, my child.
Learn from me. So yeah, so it'll be interesting when we come back to the second half of the month, because there's a real shift. We have our Mars energy in it goes we'll be moving to Libra by the end, but Mars is very precise right now. So our will is very focused, very much. And when we're aligning it with this energy of what is the vision, who am I? What really, is that, do I really need to be upset about that? No.
Right. Choices. We always have
choices. Faith in the improvement. Things are getting done. Have faith. There are as many signals out there that the world is understanding. We were just talking about some of them. The world is shifting. The world is accepting. People are saying, no, I'm not going to play that way anymore. You could play in that sandbox. I'm going to go play over here.
Yeah. It's why not make whatever time we have on the planet much more fun and light and joyful, etc.? And why not include people that we really want to be around and love? Why not include them, bring them into the sandboxes?
Yeah, and it's, the only thing I need to compare myself to is who I was yesterday. And that's important. And are there people that don't make those choices? Right. But do I need them in my life? Do I need to give them even, what's the word? Crib. I don't need it. I don't have any crib for you. You're not, that doesn't make it important to me because you decided that you were in charge of this. There's that emancipation. Well, you do you. You do you.
Yeah. And I do think, before we were saying, from our own evolutionary standpoint, in July, for me, July was like, it seems to have gone by very fast. But I just feel like I've made incredible leaps out of suffering in my mind. These thoughts and beliefs that I was attached to, they just seem to have gone poof. And I've had these experiences in my life before where it's kind of like suddenly, boom, they're not there anymore. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens these
August is going to be Embrace. There's another E word. Embrace.
And effervescent. There's
Yeah.
another E word.
So we can sit here and have E words. So
Yes.
all
Okay,
right.
thanks, Kitty.
Thanks, Joe. Bye all. We'll see you
We'll
mid-month.
see you. Yes, mid-month. Ciao for now.
Bye-bye. Namaste.